We have Secretary Gadon himself now joining us on the line. Secretary, good morning. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. Good morning, Pauline, and good morning, Diego.
Ayan.
And good morning to all the viewers.
Yes. Good morning to you as well, Secretary. Ito po, first, sir, can you clarify yung what motivated you to file this case and urge the Supreme Court to initiate this motu proprio proceeding against po sa Vice President for her disbarment as a lawyer?
Yes, because I want to test the fairness and the objectivity of the Supreme Court. Because in my case, I committed a lot less offense. They immediately suspended me without due process, without asking for my explanation, and they disbarred me on the day, right on the day of my appointment as secretary. So, while Sara Duterte, when she was mayor of Davao City, she inflicted injury to an officer of the court, the sheriff of RTC Davao, who is an officer of the court of the Supreme Court. She inflicted injury by punching her when this officer of the court was merely enforcing and implementing an order, a valid order of the court. Now, many years have passed, but they did not. The Supreme Court did not even bother to call the attention of Sara Duterte. And in the case of Laila de Lima, she admitted before the whole country during a Senate hearing, televised and broadcast all over the networks, that she has an illicit, immoral, and illegal relationship with her married driver. And yet, the Supreme Court did not bother to suspend nor disbar her. And Laila de Lima also defied an order of the court. The PRO issued by the court, temporary restraining order, directed against the DOJ, of which she was the head at the time, preventing her from stopping President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo from seeking medical treatment abroad. And yet, the Supreme Court did not bother to sanction her. Chel Jokno falsified and forged documents right in the hearing in the Supreme Court during the petition for writ of kalakasan. And you remember that the fishermen denied that they signed any document authorizing Chel Jokno. And yet, the Supreme Court did not even bother to sanction him. While in my case, in the case of Attorney Larry Gadon, I was immediately suspended on a mere letter sent by the Journalist Association of the Philippines. And not only that, I was immediately suspended without asking for my explanation, without due process.
So with that, Secretary Gadon, I'd like to ask, there are other disbarment complaints against the Vice President. I think yours would be the third. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes,
Secretary.
the third already.
Okay, I'd like to ask, ano po yung specifics nyo tsaka yung ibang disbarment? Pwede ba, may chance ba na ma-consolidate na lang ito para itakal ng Supreme Court as one complaint?
I do not know how they will treat it, because the first complaint was the punching the sheriff of the court, and the second was an anonymous letter, just like in my case, an anonymous letter also, saying that she will exhume the body of the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. And she will throw it
So West Philippine Sea.
West Philippine Sea. And then this one, she uttered expletives against President Bongbong Marcos, Liza, and Martin.
That's right.
And she even threatened, and she even confirmed that she has already hired an assassin.
Yes, which she denied later on.
Sabi niya, this is no joke.
Yeah. Pero Secretary,
It came from her mouth.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify about yung nangyari sa sheriff. No? Is it the duty po rin ba po of the Supreme Court to make sure that yung mga officers of the court are in order, or should have someone filed it long ago? At if ever, bakit hindi po na-file ng case at then Mayor Sara Duterte or Vice Mayor Sara Duterte?
No. There was a case.
There was?
Yes.
Okay.
A case was filed by the Sheriff's Association of the Philippines.
Ano po nangyari sa case?
Wala. Hindi pinansin ng korte.
Kasi it was in the local court, Secretary?
No, it's in the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, okay.
Yes, that was more than 6 years ago.
Okay, okay.
Okay, Secretary, ito nga po, no, there were 2 earlier filed disbarment cases already. Ano pong gagawin nyo, Secretary, in case the court dismisses your petition or hindi aksyonan agad? What next steps will you be taking?
I am going to file an impeachment case against the justices of the Supreme Court for failure to administer justice equally to all.
Okay, yesterday, Secretary, nung nagka-ambush interview kayo, we played your soundbite earlier. You were saying you regret supporting the Dutertes.
Yes.
Secretary, alam naman natin, back in 2022, tumakbo po kayo bilang senador under the Uniteam ticket, ano?
Yeah.
Secretary, can you explain more yung context nitong pag-withdraw nyo ng support or you regret your support for the Dutertes? Pati challenge nyo rin itong si Vice President na mag-resign siya.
Yes, kasi naman ganito yan eh. Puro kasinungalingan ang ginagawa niya ngayon. Binabaliktad pa niya ang administrasyon na madami daw kaming ginagawang anomalya. Siya nga itong nag-umpisa niyan eh. In the first place, who asked for a budget more than 2 billion for the office of the Vice President? Siya. It's a budget more than double than Lenny's budget. And when, of course, the congressman will ask her, why ask for so much budget? So, inisa-isa yun. Nung inisa-isa yun, nalaman na ang laki-laki pala ng nilaan niya sa confidential funds and intelligence funds. So, she was asked, why do you need a confidential fund and intelligence funds like this? You are not a police agency.
Yes.
You are not a military agency. Why would you ask for something like this? And then, nahukay tuloy yung COA report na in the previous year of 2023, meron pala siyang dinisburse na 125 million in just 11 days. Can you imagine
That's
that?
right. Oo.
She is not a police agency. She has no network to disburse that much amount of money in just 11 days. Kahit nga yung police agencies, military agency, hindi nila kayang gawin yun. Ng 11 days, ibusin mo yung daang milyon na budget for intelligence.
That's right. Pero,
wala kang network.
That's right, Secretary. I'd like to ask now, since you're filing a disbarment case, sabi ng iba, are you going to also mulling over filing a possible impeachment case or any criminal complaints against the Vice President? And ito na ba ang wala na pong pwedeng mangyaring repair of friendship between you and the Dutertes?
Well, I don't think ma-repair pa yan eh. Kasi unang-una, sila nag-umpisa nito eh. If not for that rants about the rantings about the confidential funds, so hindi naman ito mangyayari eh. Ang mahirap kasi dito kay VP Sara, siya na nga yung humingi, siya pa yung may bali, siya pa yung galit, siya pa yung maingay. Take for example, na-discover nito lately, who is Mary Grace Piatos? Bakit may 25 million disbursement dyan? And then they cannot prove that the person existed.
Yes.
And hindi lang yun. Meron pang Fernando Tempura, meron pang Carmelito Nova, meron pang Uwishi.
Yes.
Very obvious that these names were just invented. And then, tapos daang milyon gagamitin mo dyan? Tapos siya pa ngayon ang galit. Siya pa maingay. Bakit daw siya tinatanong?
So, Secretary, sabi ng git nyo may Uwishi, may Tempura. So, may grounds po ata for impeachment. Sabi ng mga iba. Kayo po, would you spearhead any impeachment moves?
Hindi na. Kasi yung mga congressman na mismo ang nag-spearhead ngayon eh.
So meron po. May linuluto po.
Meron na silang plano.
Okay.
They already have a plan. But I don't know if when they are going to initiate this, no? Because hindi naman ako nakikipag-usap sa kanila. I shy away from communication with this honorable congressman kasi ayoko masabi na may influence ako or what. Alam mo naman, sekretary ako eh.
Yes.
Despite some invitations for me to just to attend as a spectator, hindi ako nagpupunta.
Per Secretary, no, sinabi nyo rin kahapon, sinisiguro nyo, o sigurado ako na sa next Congress siya ay i-impeach. What did you mean by that, Secretary?
Kasi sa ngayon, the only reason why these congressmen are procrastinating in filing the impeachment case against her is because it's already Christmas season. In a few days, magde-declare na ng recess ang Congress. And the resumption of sessions in January, siguro mga 2 to 3 sessions lang yan, magde-declare na sila ng recess. Kasi election period na, campaign season na. So, wala na talagang time. You have to remember that the impeachment proceedings takes time. Ako noon kay Sireno, inaabot ako ng 8 months.
Yes, that's right. Pero Secretary, madami nagsasabi kasi that's why they're trying to also to delay it is because although meron po tayong numero for impeachment in Congress, sa Senate po it's a little friendlier towards the Vice President at baka mag-iba po ang makeup ng Senado after elections which would be better time to file the impeachment.
Hindi naman. Kasi alam mo, ang mga senador naman, mga level-headed naman yan. If they can see that there are really anomalous transactions in the OVP budget, hindi naman mga tanga yung mga yan. We cannot assume that they will just keep a blind eye on this. Ayan, meron kang Mayor Grace Piatos, 25 million.
May
yung
tempura.
Si Tempura, 10 million. Ganyan. Are you going to turn a blind eye on this? Di yung taong bayan naman magagalit sa'yo.
That's right.
Per Secretary, lilangan lang natin, yung disbarment case is not really doon sa confidential funds ng OVP. It's more of yung kanyang threat sa Pangulo. Doon po nag-uugat yung inyong complaint.
Yes, doon sa threat sa Pangulo at yung pagmumura niya. Ang nakatwiran ko nga dito, if the Supreme Court can disbar me, why not Sara, who committed a much graver offense?
So, Secretary, kayo po yung nagpadala ng anonymous complaint? Kayo po yun?
Hindi. Yung
iba pa yun.
Yung papahukay.
Hindi po.
Yeah, it's an anonymous letter lang daw. And yet, the Supreme Court did not even bother to act on it. Well, even if it is an anonymous letter, like what they did to me, anonymous letter yung ginamit nila sa akin, why not apply it to Sara? Di ba? And not only that, the statement of VP Sara about the remains of the late President Ferdinand Marcos to be exhumed and thrown to the sea, it's already a public knowledge. You don't have to prove that. This is what we call judicial notice. I don't have to prove that she said it. It's already all over the news, all over the newspapers, and she herself said it. So, hindi na kailangan na yun. Dapat nga yan, yung agad-agad yan, suspension, like what they did to me.
Pero,
bakit ako?
Opo.
Porket kasi anti-Marcos kasi itong Supreme Court the Supreme Court actually is a damaged institution.
Pero Secretary, do you think may implications ba to para kay Vice President Sara? Because as a Vice President, hindi naman po siya nagpa-practice ng law as of now while she's in position. So you think that will have any implications on her legal career na ma-disbar siya?
Yes. Ang sabi kasi ng canon of ethics of lawyers, even in your personal life, you have to observe proper decorum. Sabi nila, yun ang sabi nila sa akin, sa case ko. So even if that incident did not involve lawyering, ganun pa rin ang sinabi nila. So basta pag sa akin, sila, very forceful. Pag sa iba, baliwala lang. Mas malaki kasalanan ng iba. Like, for example, ito nga, yung kay Sara, itong kay Dilima, itong kay Chel Jokno, mas mabigat ng 100 times yung kasalanan nila. And yet, ito pa pala. When Liza Robles filed a case against me, it was dismissed by the prosecution service. You know why? Because they cannot prove that I was the one who uploaded the video because it was sent privately. They uploaded it. Ngayon, walang certification ng CIDG, Cybercrime Division, which is a requirement, which is a legal requirement for you to file a cybercrime libel case. There has to be a certification from the Cybercrime Division that it originated from the person that you are suing. Walang ganun. So it was dismissed.
Okay.
Nag-file pa silang motion for recall, dismissed na naman. And yet the Supreme Court did not even bother to read my pleading.
Okay.
Basta na lang nila yun,
Alright, but on that note, maraming salamat po for taking the time to talk to us this morning. That was Secretary Larry Gadon, Presidential Advisor for Poverty Alleviation.
Maraming salamat, Pauline and Diego. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Okay, good morning.